We're running a large program with over 50 trusts, over 500 projects, programs, and we need to try and aggregate that and report on that in a consistent way. And we've run similar programs like this in the past, which are effectively investment programs. We're investing in trusts to improve their digital maturity. And in the past, we've had a lot of pain pulling together Excel spreadsheets, pulling together PowerPoint, sometimes PowerPoint, but Microsoft Project, stuff in Word, trying to collect it all and aggregate it all and deliver dashboards and reports. And there was a lot of labour involved in that. And there was a lot of potential for the odd mistake. And because we're actually taking feeds from trusts, the trusts would often, even though we tried our best to lock down things, they would find the easiest way to do things, which would sometimes mean they'd ignore our templates or they'd somehow find a way around, and we get things in an inconsistent way. So there was a lot of QA, a lot of checking, and a lot of just trying to glue it all together. So that was the key driver, because we want to spend our time working with trusts and working with NHS providers to help them deliver their programs, to help them to become more digitally mature themselves. So we didn't want to spend a lot of our time in the background trying to figure out how we collect all these various sources together and report what the trusts are doing. We wanted a tool that would allow us to do that quickly, easily, and without a lot of labour from us. So that was absolutely the key driver behind why we went out to market and looked for a PPM solution. One of the benefits that the tool gives us, because we've collected information in a consistent way using a standard vocabulary, and all trusts are using that information in the same way, we can very easily look at themes and extrapolate across the whole portfolio of programs that trusts are delivering. And it allows us very easily to see where trusts are hitting the same kind of pain points, where things are difficult, so we can intervene there. We can find out what the problem is and look at it as a kind of across the portfolio. But also the tool, because we can kind of interrogate and extrapolate and produce custom reports, it allows us very easily and very quickly to see where trusts are falling behind, because we're tracking indicators, we're tracking RAG status, we're producing reports with trusts. We're working with trusts all the time, and it gives us that feed without having to pick up the phone, without having to go and visit a trust, without having to speak to a number of people, because we know we've got assured information, we know it's gone through a governance, and it tells us a story about where trusts are and where trusts are struggling, and very easily, because we can just look at that on one report, and that gives us a degree of control that we can go and help those trusts, or we can actually, conversely, we can go and refer to trusts that are doing really, really well, and say, actually, this trust is doing a brilliant implementation of this trust's struggling with this. Go and speak to each other, because that's the nature of the program that we're on. We've customised it quite a bit, so we've built in a number of features. Some of it are just ourselves, without Cora's help, which is great. It's one of the key selling points of the tool, to allow us to track our governance around the program delivery for trusts. So this is specifically around their milestone delivery. So we'll agree up front with a trust, effectively a contract saying you will deliver these sets of milestones, you will be then paid for these sets of milestones, but each of those milestones progresses your digital maturity up to a point, and then eventually we would say you're a global digital exemplar, and that's where we want you to be, where we want to head. But we have governance embedded in the program that means that we have to evidence that the trusts are delivering against those milestones. They can evidence that. We've got the right degree of assurance around that. We've got the right people involved around benefits, and we've got some narrative around clinical and patient impacts on this, and all that kind of stuff we need to gather, that we take then to our governance meetings to say, this trust has delivered, we'll pay them. This trust hasn't delivered, we'll pay them something, we'll pay them the rest when we see the rest of the evidence. So we're again pushing the button to generate that report. For a particular trust, we can see when they're supposed to deliver, what they're supposed to deliver, and we're tracking what status they are at each of them, and what activities we then need to follow to evidence the fact that they've achieved a milestone, and we can give them the money. So that's part of it. But obviously we've got, as a lot of organisations will do, they're generating reports, dashboards that go to their senior stakeholder groups, their programme boards, things like that, and then we're doing that just as a matter of course. But there's some specific governance around trust delivery. So if we're asked by our senior stakeholders, if we're asked by DH, if we're asked by Secretary of State for Health, because it's a lot of public money that we're spending, what a trust is delivering for e-prescribing, for example, what a trust delivering for, in terms of innovative technologies such as wearables, AI, we can quickly, very, very quickly just run reports, because we're building We've built registers, we've built custom registers that allow us to track specific types of information that are relevant and pertinent to the type of program we're delivering. So we've got that insight straight away, because we're not having to figure out whether that phrase means this and that phrase means that, because it's all described in the same way, and we can see very quickly with narrative what trusts are doing. I think we suggested it might save us 500k, ultimately just in not trying to hand crank information together. So the benefits to us as a central program team working with trusts is we are spending that time working with trusts, working with their delivery, rather than trying to generate and quality assure and bring together information. The benefit for trusts is that they can tell us a story very, very quickly, rather than having to, like they did in the past, deliver spreadsheets and all the rest of it and faff around for a while doing that. So it saves them time as well, it saves them money, it saves us money. We get good quality information at the end of the day. And the trusts are benefiting because they're using it in its current form, just in our customised form for the particular programme, to report to their own boards, but we have trusts champing at the bit saying we want to use it in totality to manage our portfolio, which is a really good thing, giving us then the seamless link between their portfolio management and how they report to us. So it's benefiting us all, but without necessarily putting a metric against it. We're seeing kind of financial benefits because we're not spending as much time. We don't need as many people in the PMO to do the job, but we're certainly seeing kind of quality benefits in terms of the outputs we're getting from the system.